Coffee, the podcast that makes your Mondays just a little bit better. Today, our focus is one of the quirkiest, most polarizing cars in the 1970s. Some people called it ugly, others said it was cheap, a few actually loved it. So, was it a terrible car or super subcompact? I'm talking about the AMC Gremlin. So, where did this strange little car come from? Well, just like the space race a few years earlier, the U.S. auto industry was in a race of its own to deliver the first true American subcompact. And it wasn't just the big three gunning for it. AMC wanted in too. But here's the twist. The Gremlin wasn't entirely new. It was born from AMC's existing Hornet platform. The company needed something smaller and fast, but without the budget for a ground-up design. Their solution? Take the Hornet and simply chop off the back. It wasn't a hatchback. It didn't have a real trunk. The rear window just lifted up. The proportions were odd to say the least. They couldn't shrink the front, so they simply lopped off the back. The result was the Gremlin's iconic, some might say awkward, shape. The Gremlin was about as bare bones as a new car could get. But surprisingly, it was still comfortable enough for most buyers. And when I say basic, I mean everything was optional. Want a radio? That'll cost you extra. Air conditioning? Extra. Rear seat? You guessed it, extra. AMC leaned hard into the no-frills formula, and they weren't shy about it. But as the little Gremlin started to gain a bit of a cult following, AMC realized people wanted more. That's when we started to see trim packages like the sportier Gremlin X, the quirky Levi's edition with denim-inspired upholstery, and eventually even the option of dropping a V8 under the hood. Suddenly, the cheap car could be dressed up in some pretty interesting ways. As for build quality, let's say it wasn't going to be mistaken for German engineering. But for the price, most buyers were willing to look the other way. The Gremlin wasn't exactly groundbreaking under the hood, but it was solidly conventional for the era. In its first year, buyers could choose between two versions of AMC's tried-and-true inline six, a design that had earned a reputation for durability and decent economy since its debut in the mid-1960s. The standard engine was a 199 cubic inch, 3.3-liter straight six, putting out 128 horsepower and 182 pound-feet of torque. For those wanting a bit more punch, AMC offered a 232 cubic inch, 3.8-liter version with 145 horsepower. Both engines sat on 7 main bearings, which gave them a rugged, long-lasting feel. Power was sent through an unsynchronized 3-speed manual, column shifted on the 199 cubic inch, floor mounted on the 232. Or, if you wanted to spend a little extra, a Borg-Warner 3-speed automatic. The rest of the package was pretty straightforward: a live rear axle on leaf springs and 4-wheel drum brakes. Performance numbers weren't headline grabbing. 0 to 60 in about 15.8 seconds, with a top speed of about 95 miles per hour. In short, you weren't buying a drag racer, but you were buying something simple, sturdy, and just capable enough. Here's where it gets interesting. Sales. The Gremlin debuted on April Fool's Day in 1970, which feels almost too perfect. And yet, AMC sold 25,000 of them that first partial year. By 1971, even with competition from the Chevy Vega and Ford Pinto, sales doubled. By the time production wrapped up in 1979, when it had morphed into the AMC Spirit, over 671,000 Gremlins had been sold. That made it the second best-selling car in AMC's history, right behind the Hornet. Why? Well, for one, its size. For Americans, it was small, but still felt heavy and solid on the road. And as the model years went by and more money came in, build quality became better and more unique option packages were added. It was also pitched as fuel efficient during an era when gas prices were starting to matter. But the biggest factor? Price. The two-seat Gremlin came in at just $1,879. That's about $12,500 in today's money. Even the four-seat model barely cracked $1,950. For comparison, a 1970 Volkswagen Beetle cost just about the same. The Pinto was a touch more, and the Vega started several $100s higher. So, while it's easy to dismiss the Gremlin as a bad car, history tells a different story. Cheap and simple as it was, the Gremlin was the right car at the right time. It served AMC and its buyers surprisingly well. So, terrible car or super subcompact? Maybe a little of both. But one thing's for sure, the AMC Gremlin left its mark on American automotive history.